thinking about people with disabilities for one moment, I'd love it if people would just close their eyes and then have a think about crossing the closest road to the house where they live. So think about the place where you live. Close your eyes for a second and just think about crossing the road near where you live. What you immediately become aware of is kind of cognitive load and how much you need to think about the tactility of the surface you're walking on, the wind speed, the noise, the people who are around you. Is there a road crossing? If there is, can you get to it? Can you find it? How can it help you to get across the road? That's the kind of context for the session today and what we're going to be talking about. So you might think, disabled people, a minority population. World Health Organization tells us that there are 285 million people globally who've got a significant and uncorrectable vision loss. That's quite a lot of people. And it's an opportunity for every single one of us in this room in terms of tech and what we do and how we actually enable people to benefit from it. So here in the UK, 100 people every single day are told, I'm really sorry, there's nothing else that can be done. You're going to lose your vision, or you're going to lose a lot of your vision. And imagine being told that by someone in an office, a doctor's office. And then actually, one of our jobs at RNIB is how can we help you to kind of make the best of that journey and to make every day better as a person who's living with vision loss. That's a really interesting one for me because I have absolutely no sense of what normal vision is like. Absolutely none. But I also have no sense of deficit or loss because the vision that I was born with is entirely normal to me. So I've learned how to do lots of things using that vision. And if someone tells me you can't do something, just watch me do it, right? So I spent 4 years working in Africa and traveling independently. Lots of people that I know and love said, look, that's really dangerous for a visually impaired guy. You could come into harm. And I said, well, look, think about the challenges and the opportunities. And it's been amazing, and I'd highly recommend it to anybody who wants to travel and really change the way that you see the world. But also somebody said to me, look, don't do a skydive. That's probably a dangerous thing to do. It's probably one of the most exhilarating things that I've done. So to go up to 13,000 feet in a plane, it's doing 190 miles an hour, and the back door is open, right? And if you haven't done this, the strangest thing about it is that you're actually looking down on the clouds rather than up. That's quite rare the first time you do it. But it's about building confidence and making people think about the opportunities that are out there. So when we come on to thinking about intelligent mobility, RNIB has worked with the technology industry globally for quite a while now. I've been in the role for about 7 years. And during that time, I've been working with all of the household technology names that people in this room will know and love. Companies like Microsoft, Google, Apple, Samsung, Amazon, all with the intention of helping people to understand disability. Not just to understand blindness, to think about the fact that we will live in a pan-disability world. You've got to understand disability across the board. If you haven't had a chance to look at the eyewear simulator, I urge you to do that. We've really enjoyed, and we're really enjoying working with Transport Systems Catapult on what we believe is a super exciting project. We're only at the start, but we're enabling people to understand conditions from a completely unique perspective, from the perspective of actually overlaying those conditions onto the environment that they work in, onto the product that they're designing, onto the building that they're refurbishing or designing. And you can get a much more informed and a more infused understanding of disability and of accessibility. And it works for everyone because the thing is, accessibility features, they don't just benefit people with disabilities, they benefit absolutely everyone. And you'll discover that more in a moment. Jason mentioned a smartphone as a life device. I would not leave home without my smartphone, in fact, without my smartwatch as well, because all of that's working together to actually make me feel more included, to reduce isolation, to reduce dependence on other people, to enable me to have information the way that I want it. So I really needed to have a very large font watch face. I've got one. It occupies almost all of the space on the watch. So A whole heap of stuff is helping to make life easier for people. But we've got a job to do to enthuse people, to motivate them, and to encourage them to take up the technological benefits that are out there. So influencing's been a massive part of what we've done. I would reckon that every single person in this room has an example of what I'm talking about in their pocket, or possibly in their hand right now. I'm going to give you this as a piece of homework, but if you've got an iOS device, you're going to go into Settings, General and Accessibility, and you're going to set up something called Accessibility Shortcut. What that's going to enable you to do is to triple click your home button like this, and your device is going to start talking, right? Totally standard device. What I'm going to do is move around the screen.
Photos, contact, messages, maps, videos, photo booth.
So if I want to open something, I just double tap and it opens.
YouTube.
Yeah, and I can take a picture. Simple as that.
FaceTime.
Right? If I want to turn it off, I can triple click to turn it off.
Available.
I'm going to speed it up.
Handwrite, characters, words, speaking rate, 56, 61%, 66%, 71%, 76%, 81%.
A little bit fast. Yeah.
Photos, contact,
so
videos.
I'll close that off just now.
Voiceover off.
Voiceover off. It even tells me when it's turned off. That is actually appearing on all mobile platforms now. If you use a latest Microsoft device, Apple device, Google device, you have a screen reader like that built into your device. We've spent a long time advocating with companies to develop this, to build it in and to enhance it and make it sustainable. Tim Cook from Apple 2 weeks ago said something incredibly powerful, and I think every business in the world needs to listen to this. What he said is that at Apple, we view accessibility as a human right. Simple as that. And then he said, don't ever, ever attempt to calculate the return on investment, because this is in the category of just and right. This is not something that you should ask, should we do it? You should think about disability and plan it in and build it into your ecosystem of products and services. So we're delighted Microsoft, Google, Apple moving down that path. Thinking a moment for thinking about the kind of customer of your transport system. People are often feeling frustrated, frequently misunderstood, because it's quite hard to communicate if you can't see too well. I tend to be really open and upfront about it and say, sorry mate, I can't see too well, can you tell me what that says? And I'm comfortable doing that, right? But somebody who's just acquired a vision loss might not be comfortable doing that. So, you know, if you see someone struggling, what you can do is you can ask, can I offer you an arm? Can I offer you any help? The worst that can happen is they can say no, but at least you've asked. Confidence is absolutely critical in this. You saw the video yesterday of the virtual reality simulator. To save a little bit of time, I won't show that today. But you know, that's actually just showing you how much of a difference technology can make to aid people's understanding. Imagine you're a customer service manager or director. You can't think about every disability under the sun. You need a solution that's going to work for you quickly, and it's going to enable you to get a better understanding. And that's what we're trying to do with eyewear. But bigger than that, voice input, personal assistants, they're all making a huge difference for people with disabilities. We're working with Amazon to look at what we can do with Amazon Echo. We'll have a deep partnership with Google and with Microsoft, again, to look at how can we make some of those technologies help people to benefit. Classic example, I want to read a book, I want to book a flight, I want to send a message, I want to find out an opening time, I want to check my commute. I used to get up and go over to a device in the corner of the room and tap in on buttons and then deal with menus and drop downs. Now you can lie on the couch and speak. Right? It's getting so much easier. I love the concept of those ears that adapt to your focus. I just wonder where that's kind of going to ultimately go to. So we're super excited about a lot of this. Just to mention a few things that we've done, because we're doing a lot of influencing, we're doing some consultancy. If anyone in this room has a 2016 or 2017 Samsung Smart TV, you have the outputs of one thing that RNIB recently worked on. So we created a whole suite of features working with Samsung engineers so that if you lose your vision or your vision deteriorates, you just turn on the features, a little bit like I did in the iPad there. Turn on the features that will make the EPG talk, it will make all of the menus talk, It'll even allow you to have TV with magnification and high contrast. It's all about building it in, embedding it, and as the Americans like to say, baking it in. That's the phrase that we kind of tune into. Bake it in, bake the accessibility into the service and to the product. Mentioned eyewear, fantastic product that we're super excited about. RealSam, it's a very simple thing you can wear around your neck, and it's a smart device, and it can actually enable someone who is visually impaired to get full access just using their voice to any reading content that they want to read. It's incredible. And we work with RealSam and O2 and Samsung to bring it about. It's now a product that people are enjoying. We're also developing smart glasses, working with Oxford University and Oxsight. This is about enhancing the vision of people with certain low vision conditions so that they can depict more of the environment around them. People have told us they've been able to see their dog for the first time. They've been able to see the outline of a family member's face for the first time. We've still got a lot of work to do, but we're super excited about where it's going. Talking ATMs, so if you rock up at your ATM, next time you do this, have a look for a 3.5mm headphone jack. If there is one, you can pop in your headphone jack, and if the software has been deployed, you can have a spoken experience of your ATM. Again, working with banks to deliver that. We've been working with DFT on what does the railway of 2035 look like. It's not that far away, is it? We were just talking about, makes me feel old at 44 seeing the ZX81, because I actually had a Spectrum, the original Spectrum, and it was 48K, and I thought it was a super powerful device. And now, look at the power of what we've got in our hands. Absolutely fascinating stuff to look at that exponential growth. So lots of things to think about. I want people to take away a thinking of seeing the journey differently. So think about that exercise you did at the beginning, where you closed your eyes and you imagined the road outside your house. When you go away, you're going to have a look at settings, general accessibility on your Android or iPhone or Microsoft device, and you're going to have a think about how that works and think about voice control and AI and haptics. Haptics are really helping for people with all sorts of disabilities. So consider the cognitive load. And when we think about interfaces, try and think slightly differently about how that works. I've had my first run in one of those a couple of weeks ago. It's a self-driving car around Mountain View. Pretty fantastic. And as a visually impaired person, there's something deeply emotional about being in a powered vehicle alone. Absolutely incredible, because you never normally get the chance to do that. The spontaneity of making a journey. Where shall we go? It's raining, let's go here. Let's go somewhere else en route for some food, and then we'll maybe drive to wherever. That's a privilege and a pleasure that I think a lot of people take for granted, and people with low vision and blindness are looking forward to a near future where that becomes a reality. So how can we harness the potential of technology to facilitate intelligent mobility and inclusion? We can build our understanding of diverse user needs, and we can also recognize key opportunities for greater inclusion through business development and through collaboration. We can learn more on accessibility through RNIB and TSC and the eyewear app and a virtual classroom that we've developed. And we can really think about the notion that no one agency can solve the mobility challenge for people with disabilities alone. I think critical to all of this, collaboration and partnership to create successful business solutions. That's what we've got to do, is do more collaboration, more partnership, try not to solve the challenge alone. I think we've heard about lots of great examples of that, and I'm super excited about the future. I'm on Twitter, @RobinSpinks, if you want to listen to more. It's been a great pleasure to be here. What a fantastic event. I'm really looking forward to the next speaker. Thank you.